Nginibingelele nonke emakhaya igama ngimqinisile Mhlongo on woman to woman conversation. Namhlanje ngizobe ngihleti naye Phephelaphi Patience Nxumalo. Sizobe sikhuluma kakhulu kati ngabo besimame on women in politics. Sawubona mama njani?
Ngiyaphila.
Ngiyaphila nami umuhle. Ngiyabonga. Ungabatisa balandzeli bayo iMpumalanga Broadcasting TV ukuthi ungubani, ubuyaphi futhi uwendani?
Ngiyabonga Sister Nsile. My name is Patience Nxumalo Phephelaphi. Others know me as Zama from Most Special on my social network. Born and bred but grew up in different places. In Bushbuck Ridge, a second born at home, all girls. I started school around Joburg, moved to Bushbuck Ridge, Mariti. I did also study there and also studied in Akonok, ended up at Orobilan High School where I matriculated. Then went to the University of the North, then now it's Limpopo, did my BA degree and my HCD.
Okay.
Came back and started teaching. I'm a teacher by profession, but currently I'm a researcher and policy analyst at Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. But today I'm here at my personal capacity as a gender activist and a woman who loves politics.
Wow, Mama, ukhuluma about a woman in politics where nawatholakale nawe so in interest yokuthi ube ku politics. Take me through your journey as Phephelaphi ukuthi wendeke njani, why ugcine usuthanza ma politics into lethandwa kakhulu kade bobabe. So chazele kabantu ukuthi what made you so interested in politics?
I started at home. My father loved politics, and because we were girls only, I think he chose me to be his buddy. So he will discuss politics with me, he will discuss soccer with me, he will discuss jazz. He was a jazz fanatic with me. So where I come from in Tulama, actually it is called Jazzville because of my dad. So we grew up in like that, and I followed on his footsteps. I was daddy's daughter. So I ended up also loving almost everything that my dad loves. So that's why my love for politics started, but it was sharpened at the University of the North because during the time when I was studying, we studied at the time that is called during the Battle of the Gulf, where there were soldiers everywhere protecting the university. It was so difficult. So it's either you join in or you jump out. So I ended up joining in, falling in love with politics, looking at all what was happening around us, feeling that it's unfair. Then I wanted to do something. I wanted to be part of the change. And I'm happy now. We are sitting here 2020. There is change, even though the steps are still at the snail pace. But we do see change. There is something we can talk about and be proud of as South African.
Oh my God. Another one. Mama, you are selfless alive.
For being brief about everything. Take us through the challenges that you faced during these years of being a woman in politics, because politics, especially kulesimo or a country adapted to that. Take me through all the challenges under those circumstances.
It is not easy to be a woman in politics. You know, women in politics have got that code where you batelela, they don't have respect, they are loose, when they go to conferences, they do 1, 2, 3, and most male, they don't want their women to be part of those collective. So to me, is the love that I have for Mpumalanga, for my people, for this country. And looking at the women of 1956 as an August month, they inspired me a lot. That those women, they were down there in the trenches. They didn't have the gadgets that we have now, but they managed
They made an impact.
to coordinate and bring everyone to one place. And at the end of the day, we have the 9th of August 1956 that we are celebrating year in, year out as a holiday. Without the knowledge of knowing how it came about, what happened, who sacrificed, who have done what, and 2, 3, 4, 5. There are few women that I can name that these are my role models. There's one, Ruth First. They never speak about this woman in politics most of the time, but she is the one who drafted the Women's Charter. And she was killed in Mozambique with a letterbox. We just know very few things about her, but nothing much. But she's my inspiration. There is another woman, Koi Ray Alexander. She's also my inspirator. She's the one who took from Ruth First. When Ruth First crafted the charter, she took it and presented to the women in Kliptown in 1954, together with Mama Dora Taman. These are communist women that they hardly talk about them. They will talk about Lillian Goy, talk about this and that, and forget the brains behind everything. So these are women I admire. These are women I love. Mama Albertina Sisulu, first woman to attend the Youth League meeting with males only. The only woman in that meeting when ANC Youth League was formed by Atol Labet, Mandela and all. So these are women that made me realize that if they can do it, I can do it. We can all do it.
Thank you so much for being brief about ukuthi singabe uba ignorant sibofuna kwati ukuthi kwendekani mhla 1955, right? Kwendekani ngaleti cuts 1956, kwendekani ngaleti cuts leto. Who fought for us as today sitholakala sine freedom as women, siyakhona kwenda tinto letiningi, siyakhona kungena kuma politics? It's because of this woman that you mentioned today. Mama, we are faced with a gender-based violence in South Africa. We cannot turn an eye against what's happening today. What are your involvements as Umama Phephelaphi towards this whole towards this gender-based violence that is happening?
As even though I'm not here as at that capacity of me being a gender convener of the South African Communist Party in the province in Mpumalanga. We have a lot of programs. We have visual activities that we have. There are a lot of things that we are doing in this month, and not so long we're planning for something that is called Women Commissar Conference, where women will come together. If it was like not with COVID, we will be coming together and teaching each other about politics. But the issue of gender-based violence is something that I have passion with. Because I don't look at it like all of us when we say men are dogs, men are trash, men are trash. I ask myself difficult question most of the time that I'm a mother, by the way, of 2 boys. And 5 other kids that I'm raising, my late sister's kids. The question is, how do we raise a boy child as mothers in families? Why are boys have got such anger in their hearts that we see such abuse of women and everything? Is it a socio-economic thing? Is it culture? Is it the lifestyle that we have adopted of lately of European sort of culture, where kids, let me go back to when we grew up. We grew up in a very big household where there were uncles, aunts, grandparents. My dad worked in Joburg. So we traveled between Akonuk and Johannesburg. Everywhere we went, in Johannesburg, he stayed with his uncle. So we were surrounded by people that we never felt, my mom and dad now, they are not here, Salenoko. No, we were cared for, we were loved. So you also look at ordinary statistics about boys. I'm told, when we give birth, majority of people that are born are boys than girls. And when we start schools, going to school, majority of people that will be in class are boys. But as we progress, boys drop out. They drop out in their numbers. While they're not the one that falls pregnant. Women also drop out because of pregnancy, teenage pregnancy. But majority of boys, they don't matriculate. Reason being, the treatment, if at home we are poor, I'll give an example. If at home we are poor, a girl child will be looked after more than a boy child. A boy child uzohamba agqoke ibhruku pen la kanalutho. But a girl child will make sure ukuthi uba dressed kahle, then ugqoke nezicathula, uba warm. And when they're playing outside, we don't really care where is the boy child. We always want to know where is the girl. So the grooming also contribute on everything. When they grow up, even apartheid played a role in breaking the family structure. You know that family structure that we had, that they took our fathers to Johannesburg to go be migrant workers. Then the mother remains home alone to raise the child. Where is the father to give that education to the boy, that he must understand what is to be a man? So most of the time, a man, the way community look at it is, if you are a boy, you must be strong, you must be tough, you mustn't cry, you mustn't complain, you must comply, and then then girls are always brought up in a very fragile way that when they are touched now is something else, unlike the upbringing when a boy child is treated equally.
Yes, ma'am. That's profound. The facts that you raised here are serious concerns, and I think we should go back to the drawing book and discover more on how to have solutions on this thing, because vele into lekhona engeke sibalekele kakhulu kade now they're affected as much as us women are affected. Mama, in short, what can you tell women out there that have a zeal or interest in politics? So ivala nje in short usho nje ukuthi bangena njani, bangasabi bene njani ukuze batholakale bafana nabo.
I'll give an example of a voters roll, or just statistics of women. In our voters roll, I'm told 55% of people in that voters roll are women. And the 45% is male. But we come elections, women don't trust each other. Women believe that it's a male that will emancipate a woman. They believe that another woman won't do as good as a male comrade or a male leader. And the notion that comrades that are active, women comrades that are active in politics, and are women that are not like marriage material. It's not correct.
Yeah, it's a myth.
Women must be everywhere so that we can change the dynamics that we are facing.
Wow.
We're crying about gender-based violence, we're crying about poverty, now we're crying about COVID as women. And the most affected people on COVID are women. Women are domestic workers, women are retail workers, women are found in hospitality, women are found in tourism, and all those sectors were closed, completely closed. And women were forced to go back home and fend for their children with what? So women must not restrict themselves in a particular sector.
Wow.
Women must join in, fight, and liberate majority of women and blacks in particular, because if you look at how majority of blacks are living, they live in squalor. It pained me to listen to one woman when they were saying they are closing Johannesburg. People that are in Gauteng can't go to Limpopo. One woman was interviewed saying, in Limpopo, I have got a big yard and my house, but here in Johannesburg, we are staying in a one-bedroom shack. Then you are telling me that I must social distance, I must be in the house, I must stay in the house with my kids. She said, what touched me, during the year when things are normal, we don't see that we are clustered, because every morning we wake up, me and my husband and the kids go to school, I go to work, my husband go to work, we come back in the evening, we sleep. So this is a place where we sleep and wake up and go different places. But when we have to be in one area, it means that we must stay in this shack. We don't have a yard, we don't have anything. Why are we not allowed to go back to our rural villages where we have got enough house, enough space, enough yard that we can social distance? So you can see the impact of what is happening and how it reflects to majority of women. Of lately, the domestic violence has gone up. There is one clustered in one place. You are not used to be together 24/7. So you are bound to clash, and you are occupying your personal space is always being occupied by someone. So I would encourage women to participate, to go to church, but mostly they must pick up the spear from the class of 1956 and continue.
Ukhulumile Mama Phephelaphi Nxumalo, siyabonga kakhulu mama kuba nathi namuhla. Ukhulume kakhulu ngekusikhuthaza ukuthi singabi stereotype. We must be flexible, sifunzeni kwenda tinto letiningi, because asathi isimo singabanjani in future. Siyabonga kakhulu. This was Women to Women Conversation with Ncinsile Mhlongo. May God bless you.